it might be good to kind of take a little bit of a step back. And we were talking about the build process. If you can, Bill, kind of maybe talk a little bit about sort of what's the bigger picture of the build process and how you see code signing fitting into that.
Sure. So I can offer the developer perspective here, and the bigger picture for me is software development lifecycle. That is from beginning to the end, and it's cyclical, of course, in that you can start out with code and eventually it is deployed and running, but then you make updates and you keep it going. So in that cycle, code signing to me falls in the deployment phase. When you're ready to put it to test or production, you need code signing to ensure integrity and trust.
Well, how does that challenge? So being in the development environment, does that introduce any challenges to you? I mean, because obviously we can always talk about all these great and wonderful security measures, but if they get in the way of doing your job or what you perceive to be as or perceived to be difficult, sometimes they're not maybe widely adopted. So have you seen any examples of that, or any other areas where you think that this might the SDLC might be challenged?
Yeah. So the SDLC, the more you add to it, and code signing is adding another step or series of steps to your SDLC, it's increased complexity. Sometimes development teams are strained on resources or time or both. And what we see here is, well, the complexity, it causes weaknesses. So like, first of all, the complexity of code signing, it generally increases your attack surface. Maybe that's a particular machine, appliance, or installed solution. And maybe you didn't have an automated build process before, but introducing code signing, you did. In any case, whether human or automated, it tends to just add more steps to the process.
Yep.
Some companies treat it as a check mark. Hey, yay, we do this. Maybe they don't do it well. And others take it very seriously. They value their users, they value data, they value the integrity of the whole process. But in 2021, things, even if your build process isn't getting more complicated, a lot of times your deployment one is. From cloud versus on-prem to test production to, I mean, even the type of environment. Maybe you're not deploying to a VM like you used to. And maybe you're deploying to some kind of containerized cluster. Maybe it's an app store running on a thick client or a mobile phone. Just things have changed and become very, very complicated. That's a lot of challenge for development teams to keep up with it.
Yep. And I think also, to your earlier point about increased attack surface, as things get more complicated, there's more moving parts. That's more, potential parts that could be exploited or compromised along the way.